Brett had just been cast on Walking Dead, and was coming to LA to meet with, agents and managers and stuff like that. The whole time he'd been there, I'd been talking about, I was really, wanting to work on some more web series, and was trying to come up with an idea for a new web series. Brett and I have worked together on many, many projects over the years. I've known him for a very long time, and he always wants to be involved in anything that I'm doing, and I always want to involve him in anything I'm doing because he's a very talented actor. I have a lot of respect for him. He has a lot of respect for me, and we work well together. And so while he was staying there with me, he knew that I played Magic and had seen me playing with my roommates and stuff, and I was trying to sneak out one night without him catching me. He caught me and was like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm going to play Magic. He was like, again? You played so much of that game, man. And then just went into this string. It probably went on for at least 20 minutes without a breath or anything, of just insults, of making fun of me for playing Magic. So we had been talking about putting together a project and not really knowing what that project was. So then when he insulted me for 45 minutes straight for playing a nerd game, and then he was like, dude, this is your new web series. From there, I think we stayed up, I don't want to say all night, but most of the night after I got home at midnight from F&M to kind of develop and create the framework for the show. To Brett's credit, it was Brett's idea. He was like, no, they should absolutely not be friends. Every buddy flick ever, Lethal Weapon, they have one thing in common: they hate each other at the beginning. And so then we racked our brains for a little bit about what's a relationship that two guys can have to where they're forced to interact, but they don't like each other, and we ended up coming up with brother-in-laws. That's where we came up with basically the entire first episode. We came up with a lot of the framework for the show. Not all of it, but mostly we knew where we wanted the story to go, where it would end up by the end of the season, and how each episode would be focused. A lot of the content that is out there already that I've seen that are about Magic the Gathering seem very insider focused. I think it's very funny, but if you show that to somebody that's not a Magic player, it's totally over their head in a way that's not even funny. Honestly, the League was our biggest jumping on point. I love that show. I don't know one thing about fantasy football. I know very little about regular football. But I think The League is a great show, and that's what we were kind of trying to make with the web series, is something that has a lot of those inside jokes for Magic players, but is just kind of a generally funny show so that it's accessible and hopefully, bring new people into the game.